Hello. If you're watching this today, you know it's the 27th of April. Or if you didn't know that, you do now. 27th of April is an important day. It's an important day because it's the date that I became the owner of a Citroen SM. The Citroen SM that you are currently sat on. The 27th is the day the car was brought to me. It was the day that it arrived on the truck. And since then, it's gone from being out in the yard, wheeled through the workshop, into the workshop in the corner, and now it's in its own bay. And not a fat lot else, if I'm honest. It's off the ground slightly. The bonnet is now on the wall, and I've taken off a wing. But what I have done is put together some history. I've put all my efforts, all my collective effort, into finding out where this car came from. France, I imagine. After France. Where it came from, what happened with it in the States, and how it came to exist over here, because it's a bit of a mess. Surely there's got to be something going on. So I thought what I'd do to kind of celebrate the year is to make this video and go through the history, go through everything I've learned. I've gone full on Sherlock, or the equivalent in America, and yeah, basically put together everything I found out so far, plus a little bit of information about the SM itself. So this is basically a celebratory SM video with lots of stuff about the SM. Do you like my seat? It's a bit like the one from last time. Only it's not. This is actually an SM seat. Got this off eBay, 20 quid. Right, so yeah, what I thought I would do is go through the history of everything I know about the SM. Not the SM as a model. That will be something slightly different. The SM I have. This SM. The car was probably built in Paris. We know it was built in December 1972 because American cars have a date plate on the A-pillar, on the driver's side, with a month and year of build. So I know this car was built in December 1972. The chassis number also correlates with that. The number of it correlates with car that would be built in that year. I mean, to be honest, if you're only building 13,000 cars over 5 years, it's not hard to figure out when they were built, is it? Some export SMs were built by Ligier down near Lyon. I don't know if this one was, because there's two rumours. One rumour is that all export cars were, and the other rumour is that the last cars were. I think the last cars sounds a little more plausible, based on the fact that Peugeot came in, took over, didn't like the SM, get that out of here, and just send all the bits to someone else to finish off because they don't want it in the factory cluttering the place up. So most of them were built in Paris in the Quai de Javel factory, which originally made gears and then made munitions for World War One. And then when World War One ended, it made cars. Why not? Many interesting, exciting things happened there, but this video isn't about that. So I think this car would have started off life there. That's my gut feeling, and that's what I'm going with because I want it to be true. From there, it was sent to America. This is an American spec car. It's not a car that's been built in Europe and then someone in America has personally imported it. It's an American spec car. Citroen didn't sell tons of cars in America, and after the SM, they didn't sell any more cars in America. That was it. The spec of the car differs slightly from European ones. That's why they were allowed to sell it there. You weren't allowed to have encased headlights, for example, and the headlamps had to be fixed sealed beams, like candles, because you weren't allowed to have superior headlights with halogen and swiveling steering and turning, everything like that. You weren't allowed it. So they do differ. So it is a US spec car built for the US, built to US standards. It has all sorts of other the seat belts are different. It has inertia reel seat belts, which it wouldn't normally have because they normally have fixed. It has lights on, warning buzzer, all that kind of thing. It probably would have gone in through New York. I don't have any paperwork for this car, so I don't know this. I don't know the original dealer that sold it. In fact, when I bought this car, I got 6 or 7 items. I've got 2 keys. One of them is an ignition key. The other one doesn't fit in anything. Doesn't work, doesn't lock any of the doors. I can't unlock the passenger door. I can't get the fuel cap off. It doesn't lock the boot. Apart from that, it's all good. And I also had some bits of paperwork and some coins. The paperwork in the car was all centered around the area of Lima. So that would have set me off, if you like. I might have been able to do a little bit of research. But on the day I got it, I got a text message that evening from a friend who is a knobhead. He said, I hope you're not going to be really angry at me, because he knows I get stroppy. And I said, why? And he said, well, I've gone away and I've done some research on your car. Maybe he thought I wanted control. I wanted to do it myself. He had gone off onto Facebook and found a Lima Memories group. And how this all came about is actually quite mad, to be honest. I can't remember why he ended up with Lima. I think it might have been the number plate. The number, obviously, Ohio, the state of Ohio, Allen County. But Allen County isn't just Lima. There's a few towns and whatnot in there. I can't remember if I'd given him an inkling of something that was from Lima. Maybe it was that clock tower gala poster thing. Anyway, it was enough for him to join a Lima group on Facebook. And so he put a picture of this car, which is just one of the ones I'd shared online, going, oh, by the way, I bought an SM, which I did a lot. And he went on there, he shared that, and basically asked if anyone remembered it. We didn't know when it was there. We didn't know what year it was. We knew that that plate apparently expired. Well, someone said it was at 1990. I don't know if that is any relevance there. I can't imagine it is, because it wouldn't leave you with many characters, would it? Didn't know any more than that until some people started responding. Some people from Lima. One person said, I think I remember that car. Another person thinks they probably travelled in that car. And then a third person comes up. Duddy's Car Sales. It was Jim Duddy. Well, Duddy's Car Sales was owned by a man called Jim Duddy. And he, it turns out, bought this car. The earliest record I've got of the Duddys having this car is May 1986. There's 2 invoices that were in the glove box scrunched up. One of them's got May 1986 on it, and another one's got October 1989 for a battery, which isn't in the car anymore. I'm disappointed. Now, Duddy's Car Sales was based, as I say, in Lima, North Metcalf Street in Lima. I found this out because people shared it to me, but one person stood out in this group of helpful people. And that person was a man called Don. And Don is a retired police detective, inspector, sheriff, I don't know, something. He's good, basically, at finding stuff. Don had been, at that point, very helpful. Don then ramps up his helpfulness by visiting the site of Duddy's Car Sales as it is today, and then sending me a video of it.
This is the site of the former Jim Duddy motor sales. Just to the right of the tree on the far side of the lot, where there was a house and a building that was used as an office for the motor sales, and then this side of the lot toward the sidewalk here was more space for automobiles. All the buildings were torn down several years ago.
Having seen that area, I went on Google Maps and I tried to find pictures of how it used to look, and sure enough, it was as he described. There was a house there. It used to be, you can just imagine it bustling with business and cars with, you know, flags, balloons, flags and balloons sell cars. I mean, I think it was mainly American cars that it sold, but I could just imagine this thing stashed up among the others, you know. And then Don went above and beyond, if that wasn't already. He tracked down Tom Duddy. Tom Duddy was Jim Duddy's brother, and he remembers the car. Not only did he track him down, he went to speak to him and film him remembering the car.
The car was up in Cleveland at a junkyard. My brother went up and bought it. Needed a lot of work done to it. We brought it back, and we started working on it. The hydraulic system on it, it took the same fluid, a mineral oil, and everything ran off the that one canister. It took about a gallon or so of mineral oil to run all the systems on it. Power steering, power brakes, the hydraulic suspension, everything. And we did a lot of work on it, put new cylinders on the suspension so it go up and down like it should. And as far as I know, we did a lot of work to it. My brother fixed put a new water pump in it. It was backed by the firewall in the back of the engine. And as far as that, that's about the only thing I know. I worked on the gear shifter. The gear shifter, I think I took it out of a Peugeot.
It's the lever, look, from a Peugeot. And it does work.
And it worked pretty good in it. Everything else, you just had to keep working with the power window switches. If they sit too long, you had to redo take them out and clean the switches. And about as far as that goes, that's about all I know about it.
This is amazing. This is brilliant. These people, we're talking 30 years ago, 35 years ago. And these people are still about and kind of remember the car. I mean, unfortunately, Jim no longer with us. His brother Tom there said he thinks he got it from a junkyard near Cleveland, scrapyard for UK people. And I did read also someone say that it came from a Rolls-Royce dealer in Cleveland, which is kind of opposite ends of the spectrum there. I'm going to go with what Tom says because he's the man, and he was there and did it. Although it would mean that it was in a scrapyard when it was 10 years old. Does that seem realistic? Maybe it would be in America. That probably is. People probably just didn't know what to do with them. Citroen didn't really help themselves selling these cars in America. They kind of just went, there you go. And America went, thanks. We're used to big iron pushrod engines and cart springs. What's this green ball do? And Citroen went, you figure it out. So I expect a lot of them probably did get wrecked and scrapped. Purely because no one knew what they were doing with them. They didn't really help them out, and the engines became such a specialist, finicky piece, part of the car, that, yeah, if you didn't know what you were doing, you could quite easily balls it up. So there's every possibility that it was something had been done wrong. But I think that the scrapyard story is probably true. So between the end of the 70s and the beginning of the 80s, when I was born, pretty much, this thing likely was at some point in a scrapyard in Cleveland. So, yeah, I just think that's crazy. To find him, and for him to remember it, and to mention the gear lever and the window switches, which don't work anymore. Of course, because it's been set up a while, like he said. So I've got to take them apart. Obviously, I'm so grateful to Don. I mean, what a Don. We would call him, he is the Don. It's, you know, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get this information without him. So I'm hugely in his debt. And I said to him, if he ever comes to the UK, which he has said he won't, but if he ever does come to the UK, I will throw him a party with, like, you know, crisps and lemonade. Not only did Don help me with the Duddy side of things, he helped me with the next bit. Because in the original posts on Facebook, he said that he believed that the car went from the Duddys to a local attorney by the name of Minor Dickerson. And I thought that was instantly very cool because we don't have people over here called Minor. He lived out of town slightly more, but still in the Lima area, I believe. And he had the car after the Duddys, after Jim Duddy had it. And Don knew of him, knew him well enough to speak to him, sort of thing. So he got me some contact details for Minor, and a little while later, from the original Facebook posts and things like that, I tried to ring Miner on this contact number and see if I could fill in some gaps, because I didn't know what happened to the car between Duddy and Miner. I think Miner probably bought the car from the car lot. I don't know. The battery warehouse, which is called the battery warehouse, that the battery came from, is still there. It's on Google. So one day I'll drive this back there and get another battery, probably. Don provided me with contact number for Miner. He's still working, and he provided me with a contact number for Miner. And a little later on, admittedly a few months after, because this, funnily enough, has all been going on for 1 year, a little while after the original information hunt happened, I tried to call Miner and see if I could find out some information, see if I could fill some holes. Okay, so this could be quite an exciting phone call, potentially, or it might be a complete anticlimax. I've got a phone number here for a guy called Miner Dickerson. He's in the US, and I believe he owned this car for a long period of time. So I've got a number for him, and I'm going to try and call him. He was available between 1 and 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I've Googled Eastern Time, 1 p.m. is 6 p.m. here, and it is 6:30, which is gone 6:30. So I'm going to try and call him and see what happens. It might work, it might not. I've never tried ringing anyone in America from the UK before, so we'll see what happens. I've had to Google how to do this. You go 001, and then you put in the number minus any leading one. What? Oh.
Contact your BT Cloudwork administrator to enable access.
Rubbish. Hi, could I speak to Miner Dickerson, please?
Hello?
Hello?
If you're there, I can't hear you.
Oh.
You have to call back. I can't hear anything.
Hello? I got through and then the phone. You piece of poo. Right, that was the work mobile, and I'm going to try my own phone now. I went with the work mobile because I think it was cheaper, but I've had enough. He didn't sound like he was in the mood, did he, to talk? Right, let's try again. Hi there, could I speak to Miner Dickerson, please?
He's not here.
Is he not? Oh. He sounds really friendly. I've just looked on Google reviews for that company, and it says the people at the front desk are the worst. Based on the evidence, we are polite in the UK, aren't we? You wouldn't get that in the UK. You wouldn't. But the next day, I tried again, only I tried a different number, because I went back to Don and I said, oh, I spoke to someone, and he didn't sound very happy. That person who put the phone down could have been Miner for all I know. He's not here. Bang! So Don got me another number. I tried that the next day, and